everyone. Today I just wanted to give you a quick update on a root graft that I did earlier in the year. Started it in early spring and right now it's getting to be the end of summer and I'm kind of impatient. I just wanted to check the roots and see how they were doing, if they had attached themselves to the plant. As you may know, air layering is a great way of generating material for starter bonsai. You get some nice diameters on your plants without having to wait for them to grow. And the one drawback with doing air layers is that it's a bit unpredictable how the roots will grow out of the cut area of the air layer. It's almost certain that you won't get a nice radial root distribution. Usually you're going to get them a few on one side, maybe one straggly one on the other side. It's not optimum for getting a nice uniform radial root distribution. So root grafting is a nice way to add roots to the areas where you're missing roots. And so I thought I would give this a try. It's the first time I've done it. Fortunately for me, it was successful this year. So here's the plant after I potted it up after cutting it off the tree. So after 2 years of growing it, I repotted it and found that the root distribution was pretty bad. One side was completely devoid of roots. So I thought I'd try this root grafting method. So I got my tools together and did the root grafts. I'm not going to go into the details of that. I might save that for another video. And I'll point you to some really good resources for root grafting in the description. So you always want to be planting seeds in the spring and growing up little seedlings so you have a good supply of plant material to do root grafting. Now for whatever reason, I always have a number of seedlings that have a 90-degree bend in the root, so the taproot doesn't go straight down, it curves and goes off at 90 degrees like the ones in these photos. And that makes them really nice for root grafting because as I attach them to the trunk of the tree, the root's already going out in a radial pattern without me having to bend it or move it later on. So it makes for just a nice situation. So I used the method of cutting a slot in the tree right above where I want the roots to be coming out of the trunk of the tree. And I did that with little gouges and with an X-Acto knife. And then set the root, scraping a little bit of the bark off of the seedling, then pressing it into the slot and securing it with a thumbtack. So I just want to make one comment about these push pins. They are terrible for root grafting. The plastic can be weak and you hit it with a hammer and the top just breaks off. Or when you're trying to pull them off, same thing, you pull them with your pliers and the top breaks off. So I'm going to give a shout out to Momiji-en Bonsai Garden for his video showing the use of grafting nails, specialized bonsai grafting nails in his video, which I'll link below. And I'm going to order these and use them for next year's root grafts. So the entire area gets covered with cut paste. It's the gray putty type that you would use when you prune your branches. I did this root graft in mid-March and now it's mid-September. So 6 months and we'll take a look and see how the root grafts did. I attached 4 root grafts and I'm hoping that at least 2 of them will survive. It was a hot summer and some of the root grafts, the leaves dried up, and so they didn't really thrive as well as I would have liked them to. You can see that there was one strong root that was coming off of the back of the plant, and there's a little feeder root coming off the top of that, so I thought I would just take care of that now and clip it off. So one snip where it's coming out of the root and then just cut it off. You can see that this graft at the back of the plant looks pretty good. It looks like the callousing around the base there is merged. So I'll just clean out the area around the root to take a better look at it. You can see it looks pretty good. You can see where the top of that push pin is broken off. That's what I was talking about earlier. So this is just showing me I've actually had to wiggle it quite a bit more to get it out there. Then eventually got to pull it out with the pliers. just pulling off some of the cut paste. But you can see on this one, I can wiggle the branch and the root's not moving, so I think it has taken. The rest of the root grafts look very similar to that, so I won't bore you with it. But here's the plant, and we'll take a look at it in the spring and see how well those root grafts are doing. Well, thanks, and we'll see you next time. Hope you have a good week.